broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Let the buzz begin. The buzz has begun because we have... Okay, I'm biased. My favorite housewife is here. Housewife, designer, entrepreneur. She's got it all. Heather Thomson is here.
I'm bubbly. I love you too, Miss Ashley.
Yes, and I forgot to say who I am. I'm Ashley, but that's perfect. I'm Ashley Daniels, and we are with Heather Thomson tonight, and my lovely co-hosts from Real Housewives of New York After Show.
Hey guys, it's Megan, and if you want to tweet me, it's at Megan Stecher, MEGANSTECHER.
Fern Ronay here. You can find me on Twitter at Fern Ronay.
And you're I am
At I am Heather T.
For Twitter, okay. I'm
Yep.
Ashley Daniels on Twitter. And so much to talk about tonight. I don't even know where to begin with you because it's been so long.
I know.
Last time we chatted, it was prior to you starting the new season of New York.
Yeah, it was like a year ago.
It was
like last October. We
it
were
was
here,
actually,
right?
yeah.
I always remember.
And I'm
being
wearing
here.
the same jeans.
I know. We're both in our yummy jeans.
And I was wearing these last Tuesday, and everybody was like, "Are those the jeans that you always tell me about?" And I'm like, "Yes, they are. They are so comfortable. I love them so much, and I'm so thankful."
Oh my God,
for
you're
these.
a great role model in my jeans.
I
You make them
can't.
so yummy.
Oh, that, you smelled yummy today, by the way.
I do.
You
I
smell
know you
yummy.
like that. That's what am I wearing? Tom Ford Oud Wood. It's
Oh,
called.
nice.
Yes.
I wouldn't show what
gonna
else
have to
you're
smell
wearing,
you
but
later.
it's kind of rated R to show
My-
like, your
I'll show you my yummy tushy because we were butt bumping last time, me and Ash.
I love it. I like her ass. I can't help it. I can't help it.
You know, a girl knows a good
You know,
bump when she sees one.
it's true. It's true. We all know. We all have some great
You guys
assets here.
by the way, I'm with hot chicks.
Here, come on.
This ain't
look
no
at
joke.
We dressed up today for you.
You guys look great, and Megan has the most beautiful green eyes. You guys
I know,
can't see,
it's
but they are
ridiculous.
exceptional color green.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
They look
very-
like you have
it's-
green eyes.
I have green
Do you?
eyes too.
Wow,
Yeah.
you guys
You
have
kind
good
of have
picture.
green.
Pale
Greenish
green.
brown.
Now
Yours
they're
look
pretty.
bluish
They look
today.
sagey. No, it's you.
You know what? Let's just break up this mustache and talk about something a little more serious. No. Okay. I want to know overall thoughts, first of all. Obviously, sadly, you're not going to be back next season, but that's your choice.
Yeah.
And I've gotten so many tweets about why, and we will get to that. But the first question is overall thoughts of this past season. Just having done this season, being your last season.
I thought it was a great season. You know, I really did. We have, true history on the show now because when Carole and Aviva and I first joined the cast, it was a big upset. 3 had gone, 3 new came, and so we had to get to know each other. Mm-hmm. And so this season with Bethany coming back, she had a history with the other women. We then had a history with the other women. So it was only kind of like one new girl. And, we had all rubbed elbows here and there.
Right.
Bethany and Carole had some friends in common. I had done her show. Kristen and Josh knew her a little bit. So there was, we kind of had a little bit of history. So, and there were real relationships from, before Bethany came on with like me and Ramona and Luann and Carole and, making up and then not making up. And, so I think that there was a lot of genuine stuff going on. And so I thought that was good because you could really see the interaction of the women and how it either came to fruition or crumbled.
Right. And we did see that. But, one thing about you this season was you stood your ground. A lot of people would be afraid to tell someone like Bethany what's really on their mind.
Yeah.
And you took that stance many times. So I've gotten a lot of tweets about that too. Is that maybe, one of the reasons why you're leaving? So what is the main reason that you're leaving?
The main reason I'm leaving is for my business and my family. I did 3 great seasons on the show. I thought, it was an amazing opportunity. I'm so glad I took it. I have no regrets. I have only really great things to say about the show. I felt like my relationships with the women had, come to pass. I understood where I was with all of them, and my business, when I first started Yummy and the opportunity came to me, it was like, well, of course, as from a marketing standpoint, it's like, I got to throw my hat in the ring and check this out. And so, I was willing to step away from my business in order to film the show because the opportunity was so great. Well, now my business needs me more than it needs the show.
Right.
And it really
That
does
makes sense.
take a lot of time away. And, when I first started filming the show, my kids were, they're now 8 and 10, and it was 4 years ago. So they're bigger now and they understand what goes on. And it's confusing to them. Like in my general life, I don't have friends that I fall out with. It doesn't happen. So on the show, it's a little confusing. They're like, oh, we're not invited to Dorinda's pool anymore? Like,
Right.
they were
Right.
confused by that. And it was like, yeah, that was weird. But,
Yeah.
and by the way, we went there only like twice. It wasn't, it was just like that kind of thing, even though she said it in a snarky moment and a silly moment and she didn't really mean it, it hurt my kids. So,
Right.
you know what I mean? They understand. They're like, well, you and Luann aren't friends anymore, Mom? Like, I don't get it.
Right.
So that,
Right, they're getting older.
They're
They're
getting
starting to
older.
catch
And
on
so
to-
there's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of levels of, why it was time for me to just move on. Although the door is open, I had a great time. I have a great, I love Andy. He was a great, part of my
Yeah.
life. He's a fun guy. Carole, of course, and I are steadfast friends and remain friends. Kristen and I, are friends. Luann and I made up after, the naked guy gate, and girl code and things like that.
Yeah.
And Sonia and Ramona and I always had kind of surface relationships.
Right,
And,
right.
Bethany and I kind of have the same. We got to a place where we we understand each other, we like each other, but there's not like a whole lot of like depth there that I feel like I even need to dig down into.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like I came in at the right time and I'm coming on out at the right time for me.
I love
Sounds
that.
like it. And it's a perfect age for your kids because it's hard to be a teen or a tween on reality TV, so this is perfect.
Right.
It worked out perfectly.
I agree. It was always a family decision, even though they were little. It was like, because I was taking my time away. What do you think about Mommy doing the show? And we would all vote as a family to do it. And on this season, when I said, what do you think about it? And we voted not to do it. It was like a unanimous vote. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's
Like-
good
That's
time.
that's really sweet
I
to
was
do
like,
that.
yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that are great in a group setting, you being one of them, but you can also, in my opinion, I've said this to you several times, but especially once I met you, you can absolutely Carol. I'm thinking of Carol. I'm trying to get Carol on the phone. She's not answering. You can absolutely carry your own show.
Oh,
And
thanks.
so that's, maybe somewhere in the future, I don't know, but you
Right.
could, you could be like the Carrie Bradshaw of like the entrepreneur world of, I don't know, but definitely.
I would love to do that.
I could see that for you 100%, but
I
you've
like
got,
to help people and give, I'd like to offer advice and, meaningful, constructive advice. I like to listen,
You did it on
to
Fox,
people.
right?
Yeah, I do that on Fox. On JJ Ramberg on Fox, In Your Business has a great show, and it's almost like it's like a practice for Shark Tank.
Right.
Like they come in and they give an
Yes.
elevator pitch, and I tell them, how they did.
Yes.
And I would like to do more of that stuff, but this next year is really getting off the hamster wheel a little bit, like really focusing on the business. Yummy is a growing, very successful brand. I'm very proud of it. I have over 47 employees in the company that look to me for leadership and guidance,
amazing.
and I can't do that when I'm not there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Fighting with Ramona.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
like weigh the importance.
I know. It's true.
It's
It's
like
true.
for what? Because she
It's
never is
true.
going to change. So
It's true.
and we just got to leave that one. I got to hang up my coat on that one. Hang up my hat.
I do want to know, I know you guys had some questions too, just before we get out of the Real Housewives questions. I do want to know, in terms of your relationship with Carole,
Yeah.
because you guys are genuine friends, how was that when you saw Bethany and Carole's relationship flourish this season? Was it kind of like, I was wondering how that made you feel.
No, it didn't affect me at all.
It didn't,
First of all,
okay.
funny enough, the relationship flourished more after we were filming.
That's interesting.
It was like at the end, it was kind of, Bethany and I found a place, and Carole and she kind of developed a relationship, and they have some common friends.
Okay.
And so Bethany had this trip that she was invited to, and, said, hey, you want to come with me? They're 2 single girls.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was like they had that in common. And so they went on a trip to the Galapagos Islands together, and they like slept in the same same bed for 10 days or something like that.
That's
and
funny.
yeah, and it was a fun adventure for them.
Yeah.
So not at all. I'm the kind of girl that when I introduce my friends to one another, I want them to have a relationship.
Yeah, you can.
I did the same for Carole and Luann. I was so in the middle when they weren't getting along. I was like, Lou, she's amazing. Like Carole, you know what I mean? Like you're missing it. And so I got them together last season on the show.
Right.
So I like my friends to all be friends.
That's
it benefits me.
Yeah, no,
It's
absolutely.
amazing.
You're confident. That's why you've been. Did you guys want to ask anything about, since we had a whole season, I'm sure you have tons of questions.
So I know that we've talked about it on our panel, and then I also had a friend in person ask me, what do you think it was going on with Heather and Dorinda this season? That it would, did it just look played up on camera, or what was really going on there?
No, that was a big surprise to me. Dorinda and I met over the summer, and we had a nice time. Like, we met for like 3 months, and, I went to her house a couple times, and she came to my house a couple times, and we got along. I mean, there's a lot to like about Dorinda. She's smart, and she's funny, and she was going through this hard time, still mourning the death of her husband and working out this relationship with John and her relationship with her daughter. And I kind of came in and I became a confidant to her. And so when we started filming, I had never really spent any time with Dorinda in New York City. So I didn't know her as a friend of Ramona, or I didn't know her as a friend of Luann, really, even though Luann was the one that introduced us. But she changed. There was like 2 sides to her, and
I saw that too.
And I didn't even notice it during filming until Turks and Caicos, when she yelled at me for not waiting for her, and that was silly. Nobody understands what that one was about, and that was just martini madness. I think how your emotions get the best of you sometime, and she was emotional being on the show, and the whole thing had went down with Sonia. And drinking, and that I was crying over that, which you didn't see, because I'm like, we need Dr. Drew. Like, this is like above my pay grade,
Right.
So that, I think she was just emotional, and she lashed out at me, you know what I mean? And that's why I made up with her, because it didn't make any sense. What was the hurtful side of it was her on Twitter. Like, every time she had the opportunity to say something about me, it was like hashtag eye roll, and that's why I said at the very end, hashtag your mom's proud of you now, which like really made her mad. But I was like, you said, which you didn't, that's the thing about filming is that it gets condensed, so you don't see the whole thing. So even on the couch, and this is where Bethany's so annoying, is on the couch, like I was saying, we were saying what really happened that dinner. She wasn't even there. She's like, none of that happened. Because she only wants to talk about what was on the film. Right. Because that's, iconic, housewife, iconic Bethany, I guess. Like, this is the rules of the game, and this is how we play them.
Well, you just kind of sounded
like
her.
You know what I mean? And I was like, well, okay, I have my rules, and this is how I play my game. And so Dorinda and I were just trying to explain, like, kind of, I guess, hash that argument out. And, she said that your mother cannot swear. She's an amazing woman. It'd be horrible. My mother would never swear. And that's how it came in. I was like,
what is that?
My mom does swear. My mom forgets
Does she know
her
your
car
mom?
keys. She has met my mom.
Okay.
And I have met Dorinda's mom. So she kept talking about their mother. So I was like, and she was wasted. So I was like, hashtag your mom's proud of you now. And the reason I said the hashtag, because she's been hashtag eye rolling me. Right, you know what I mean? And I was like, whatever. I can't, I can't go on. And whenever she's like, oh, Heather from the preacher box, or Heather from this, and that is not at all what she ever said to me over the summer when I was offering her advice and being a sounding board and being a sound ear for her, and I thought a good friend. So I just didn't get that, and I didn't like it. But for me, I think it was Dorinda playing up the show. And also playing up the fact that she's a true fan of the show. So Dorinda is a die-hard Bravo fan. Die-hard Bravo watcher.
I heard that.
So she had never tweeted before, so she tweeted like a fan would tweet.
Okay.
Versus like and that's what we kind of talked about, So we've moved on from it, and I've, I don't hold grudges like that. I've forgiven her. It was hurtful a little bit, and I would call and be like, why are you being so mean to me on Twitter? Are we in a fight that I'm not aware of?
Right.
So it was very strange for me, and it still hung out there as like this strange thing, even on the couch. But I helped get Dorinda on the show. Ramona
That's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, Ramona brought her to the show, and then, I really stood up for her and stuck my neck out for her. So, and she's like, forgot about that. So I'm like, how do you forget that?
I know, it's like, how?
But I don't need the credit, what I mean? But it was a little bit hurtful. But, I hopefully, like I said on the couch, is hopefully only we go upwards.
Right.
So I don't see her as much as, I did, but, we text when, she's in the Berkshires, and we were going to get together over Labor Day, but we didn't. You know what I mean? But it's just because we were doing other things.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's all good in the hood.
It seemed like there was a Lord of the Rings thing happen. Like no one was gonna, there's the three of you, Carole, Kristen, and you. The three amigos. You guys are just probably never gonna really fight. Like you're true friends.
Yeah.
And so of the three of you, she's not gonna go after Carole. She's not gonna go after Kristen. You're the strong one.
Yes.
That she's and can also make a storyline out of.
I agree with that, and I think you do sometimes lash out at the ones that you feel close to. When she did her interview and they asked who are you closest to on the cast, she said me.
Oh, okay.
But then once we
interesting.
started filming, it was like her and Ramona were like bosom buddies, and her and Luann, and I didn't see that side.
Right.
And clearly they're friends, and they had a friendship in New York. Like I said, you know what I mean? Me and Luann was the one that introduced us.
We're going
Okay.
to
So-
interrupt because apparently we have the beautiful Carole on the phone.
We do! So you said her name.
Hi.
And she, hi, Razzie.
Oh, hey. Hi. Are we on?
We're
We
on.
are
We're
on.
buzzing.
You are. I'm Ashley. You came in before and you met us. I have some new panelists from the Real Housewives After Show at AfterBuzz: Fern Ronay and Megan Stecher, and obviously Heather is with us. So we just want to say hi and see how you're doing and get some updates from you. If that's
She's
cool.
working. I wanted to give her a respite because she's working diligently on her book deadline.
My goodness.
So I figured I'd be a very bad influential friend and call an interrupter.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Aren't you glad I interrupted you, Raz?
Yes. Yeah. Well, any excuse not to be working, but I did make my deadline, so that's the good news.
Ooh, love it.
The bad news, I spent the entire summer doing that
Oh my goodness.
and helping Adam move into a new apartment.
Yes.
Oh,
That
that's
was
nice
my-
of you.
And
that was my
decorating
summer.
it.
Oh, you decorated it?
Yeah, she helped them decorate, and we were just talking about it earlier.
I helped.
And and Carole has a new puppy. If anybody has
Wait,
been
what
following
kind
her
of
on
dog?
Instagram,
Baby, right? Is this
Yes,
a
baby.
Oh.
Very cute.
Baby, my puppy baby has
Congratulations.
like 12,000 followers on Instagram. Just saying. She's so cute.
Spin off.
Exactly.
Are you in New York right now?
I'm in New York.
Oh,
yeah.
you are?
I wish
Okay.
I was out there.
I
Remember
know.
the last time we were out there together, Heather?
Yeah.
To the chateau.
It's so
That was
funny
so
when
fun.
Carole started, when she and I started working together on The Housewives, and I would be in LA, she would always be here. It was like so
Right.
perfect. It always worked out just organically.
Yes.
For like 4 years that every time I was in LA, because she had a house out here for
I
a while, so she
know.
was here more than me, that we would be together. And this trip, you're not here, and I miss you.
I know.
I remember last time you were here, you were like something with your car. You were like something happened with your car or something. I forget. You.
Me?
Yeah, it was.
I got lost.
Yeah,
I
oh.
got lost.
Oh, that was
because My that GPS, that bossy lady that talks to you in the car, directed me to the wrong place.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was something like that. But I'm so
Yeah,
glad that
yeah.
you're doing well. Any updates on you and Adam? Anything you can tell us about your just your amazingly fantastic life that you lead every day? Tell us some of your Carole
I
fans.
don't know. It's kind of it's fun. It's kind of boring. I don't have any like major announcements to make, but Adam's great. He's we're both very similar in that we're homebodies. So
Yeah.
we spend a lot of time like at home watching movies and documentaries and fun things. We just finished binge watching Narcos on Netflix. And we're like so
Ooh.
psyched about that.
Very
We're like-
cool.
Yeah, I actually like to go out much more than he does. He's like an old man.
Oh my
I'm like, are you
god,
sure you don't want to go out tonight?
that is so funny. He's an old
He's
soul.
He's
He's an
adorable,
old soul.
and so that's fun. And I've just been enjoying not filming. That's a huge break, and I'm very envious of Heather.
I bet.
Not going back, and that's sad for me in so many ways. But
Sad for all
it's
of
not
us.
like I don't see her anyway, but.
Exactly. Well, I have to say, you looked so beautiful in that wedding dress and Kristen's wedding dress from that episode. We just have to say, I mean,
Oh,
absolutely beautiful.
Thanks. That was such a fun scene in that whole kind of story. And
I know.
It's unfortunate it didn't get in the regular series, but I'm happy that they were able to put that in the lost footage.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, you guys are so cute. Your little
she's
teeny
terrific.
bodies, both
I
of
mean,
you.
we could do a whole season on what we don't see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Like, I mean, not just lost
Hello.
footage. I mean, so much stuff of Carole and I filming together, and Kristen and I filming together, and that just doesn't make it. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that goes on,
Right.
you know, that you don't get to see.
Heather, remember when we drove to New Jersey and went to that women's book club?
Yes, that was amazing.
So fun.
We went. It was so funny because
And you end up knowing some of the women because didn't you date one of the ladies' husbands?
Yeah,
No way.
I dated one of like the town like kind of local hotties. So when I told them who I dated, they were like, "Oh my God, you dated Matthew Herring? Everybody knows Matthew Herring."
Oh
you know, I was
my
like,
God.
And Carole did it was actually a great scene where she was talking about her book and they are asking her questions. So in this book club, you know how a book club goes. You read the book and then you all talk about it, and then they got the author there.
That's
Which was
awesome.
so amazing. This amazing thing
It
called
was
Book the
fun.
Writer, and you could book the writer. You could do it online. You can find Book the Writer. It's called, and this wonderful woman who's a friend of Carole's
bookthewriter.com.
started it, and so they booked Carole, and then they were like, you know, she said, "You guys, can I film it?" And they were like, "Yeah." So we were in New Jersey with all these moms, Real Housewives,
That's
At
amazing.
someone's house.
Yeah,
at
Real
someone's home,
Housewives.
That's so
Real
cute.
Housewives.
Awesome.
And so that didn't make it, and you know, so there's a lot that
You got to
doesn't
come
make
back
So
for.
much.
We have Book Circle online here. We do the same thing. We read books and then we bring the authors in. So we'd love to have you at some
Oh,
point
good.
for the
She's
Book
has a
Circle
new one
online.
coming, so
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What's the new one about? Is it the essays?
My next book, but it doesn't come out until October 2016.
Oh, damn.
It takes a long time to go through publishing and stuff, but that's good. I'll come out.
I
in
read your
next
other two
fall. I'll be
books,
there.
though, and I
I'd
love
love to
them.
do that.
So.
good.
And you got to get back on Periscope because I'm always on Periscope and you're awesome on there. I know Eric got you on there. I think in the beginning, right?
Oh, that's the only time I've ever been on there.
You got to do it again.
I know.
I'm gonna get Heather to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like my favorite thing to do. So you got to get on there
We'll
because
do
you're
it,
really good at
and
it.
then we'll do it together in New York.
Yes,
and
that'd be
you'll
so
be very
fun.
proud of us.
That'll be awesome. You guys, I'll watch you guys. Yeah, I'll share your broadcast, everybody. Awesome. Carole, thank you so much for picking up the phone and
you're
letting us interrupt
welcome.
you. I bet you're going to have a delicious meal tonight made by Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Say
Whatever he
hi,
does.
Adam. Kiss, baby. I love you, Mom.
No,
I'll see you in New York.
We're actually going to our friend's restaurant, Heather's friend, also Toro Blanco.
Oh,
for
Johnny
for
McDonald's.
tacos and
Yummy.
margaritas.
Oh,
Going
delish.
I wish I was there with you guys. Heather, when do you get back?
I'm coming back on the Red Eye Thursday night, so call me Friday.
Okay. All right. I'll call you. All right. Have fun.
All right, love you,
Bye.
baby.
Bye, Carole.
All right. Bye.
Oh, that's so fun.
That was so fun.
She's so
the
fun.
best.
She must
She's
be a
awesome.
blast to go out with.
I was talking to her before because it's been a few days that we haven't talked, and it was like I had a minute out here because you know in New York I don't ever have like a minute. I feel like, and so I was between things.
Right.
And I called her to catch up, and we were catching up, and I said I'm doing AfterBuzz with the girls. I'm like, we should call you.
That's so
I haven't
cool.
taled to
Thank
you. You know what I mean?
That's so fun.
That was
So it was
awesome.
great. Yeah, she's the
And you
best.
feel it with her and Adam? I feel like it comes through on
listen,
screen.
I was there when it happened. I mean,
Yeah,
you
you
can't
were.
fake that kind of chemistry.
Right.
You know, it was literally like you could feel it.
Yeah,
You could
he's an old
feel it,
soul. It's
yeah.
almost like she's making him younger in a sense, like because
Yeah.
he doesn't go out there like she's getting him out.
They're meeting in the middle.
But,
Yeah.
you know, it's like I think sometimes you just overthink things too much. Like everyone's so worried about tomorrow. Like live in today. Like
Oh,
enjoy today.
you have
And
such a
you
great
know,
way
they
of
really
thinking.
enjoy each other. And literally, like I mean, I got giddy over it.
Yeah.
Like I get giddy over talking about it. Because I like to see my friends happy.
I know, you're
you
such a
know,
good-
and she's happy.
I want to get. Is there anything else we want to bring up about Housewives? Because I would love to get into it. I mean, you have so much going on, and I want to know all about it with Yummy and everything. But
Just
I want
one
to give
quick
you a
question.
chance.
The
Of course.
reunion ended so, I loved it.
Wasn't
that you
that
all
nice?
hugged. I don't think that's ever
Yeah.
happened on a
No,
Housewives
it was
reunion.
really nice. You know, it was so funny. My sister, of all people, like she was saying how the reunion go, and I told her, and when she watched it, she goes, "You never mentioned the group hugs."
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess I forgot. She goes, "How do you forget that?"
It was great.
Because that's the way it flows.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes. You know, no one was there was nothing tremendous that anyone was gonna hold a grudge. You know, no one's done anything to really hurt people. I mean, Carole and Luann still remain to be seen. There was a lot of stuff that went on there. But, you know, no one did anything that was detrimental that anyone needs to hold this long-term grudge. And, you know, we are an ensemble cast. And, you know, I think personally, and Bethany and I had this conversation, I was more vested in the relationships personally. I was more vested in my relationship with Sona, more vested in my relationship with Ramona than they were with me. You know what I mean? They didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
For them, it's like, oh, come in, come out, whatever. And I joined the show to show my life on television and to embrace these women, and that's what I was in it for. So I had an affinity for all of my cast, whether I hang out with them or not. Do you know what I mean? And I still feel that, and I always will. Whether they feel it back to me or not, it doesn't really matter, because I guess it's my emotion, right?
Well, yeah, at some points when I was watching it, I felt like there was some parts of you that were not accurately portrayed, because that's not really how you are.
Yeah.
Like some certain dinner scenes and stuff. So I just feel like overall it just shows you, when you do actually know what somebody's like, and then you see them, you're like, wow, editing has so much to do with that, because just certain scenes are just like, what? That's definitely not how it was played out. So
right. I mean,
it's just best for someone that's like you. It should not be on a show like that for that long.
I think, because, at some point, everybody's going to get, the short end of the stick. Yeah. It's going to happen to everybody, and you have to have tough skin. Mm-hmm. I prefer it when it happens in a humorous way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like versus the mic, my volume turning up, and I'm commandeering an entire dinner table, which wasn't really how it went down. But what they wanted to capture there, in fairness to the editors, they wanted to capture the tension with Bethany. They wanted to capture that scene. So the other things that were going on, and there was a lot going on, wasn't as important to the editors as that scene. So that's all you really get to see from the dinner party, although there was a lot more going on. And it was funny, because when I watched that play out, that's not how I felt like it went down.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was just trying to offer her a meatball.
It seemed very innocent to us.
It was, and then it just got, and I cried after that. I cried too, because I was like, I just can't ever get through to this woman. And what I did learn from that, though, is I'm a fixer, and even the women have described me as that. And sometimes, I always want to hurry up and fix it and hurry up and lend advice and make it better. And sometimes you just have to back off and let people find their own way.
Yes.
And that's definitely the case with Bethany. And it's not my experience in life generally with the people that I come in contact with, and same with Dorinda and I. Like when we met over the summer, she embraced me, and I embraced her, and each other's advice. And on the show, it was a little different. So it's a show after all.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And there's something to be said for edit. Like that whole dinner wasn't awkward. It was just 2 minutes. But what we see, it's like that must have been tense.
I remember one of our producers came up to me and was like, "Whoa," and I was like, "I mean, that was so crazy." He goes, "No, whoa, you got a hug from Bethany Frankel."
Oh my God.
And I don't know the past. I didn't know the past Bethany. I didn't watch the show when she was on it.
No,
I
you
really didn't. So I didn't know that side of her, and I was like, well, that's really good and healthy. And Carole makes a joke out of the fact that she's not a hugger. Mm-hmm. She pokes fun at it, because she wasn't. It was like hard. It was awkward for her to like embrace people, and she kind of had like a little bit of a hesitation. But we hug all the time.
Do you really?
Yeah,
that's funny.
And we say I love you all the time. And those were things that she wasn't doing with people that she had just met, but it was natural to do it, and so she did it and said it, and it was like set her free.
Right. The hug set you free.
Okay.
I love it.
You really got a best friend out of this, if nothing else.
I really did. Right. That is probably the best thing that came out of the
very
show.
True.
Very true. Aside from the experience, was Razzie.
I want to know now, with Yummy, because Yummy's expanding all the time. I can't even keep up anymore. Now bodysuits.
I know.
I don't know if we could show it, but she's got this amazing bodysuit on right now by Yummy.
I can show everything except for the boobs.
And so the fabric is like the coolest fabric ever. So what is going on now? Last time you were here, you were launching your activewear, right?
Jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this question, because when I launched the brand, it was one tank top. And it was an accessory to fashion, and it had shapewear in the middle. So the shapewear buyer came knocking on my door saying, "Oh," and I said, "Oh, shapewear?" They're like, "Well, yeah, there's shaping in it, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, but it's a tank top." You know what I mean? They're like, "Yeah, well, we buy shapewear. It goes in the shapewear department." So when I first launched the brand, it was so funny. I didn't even think about it as shapewear necessarily. I thought about it as a fashion accessory. Just like a bra. We wear a bra to, boost up the girls or whatever. And this was just to kind of, slim down the middle, but I didn't really think of it as traditional shapewear, because it was nothing like that. So when I launched it and went into the shapewear department, right away I had to bring in other things, because I couldn't just have one tank top in the shapewear department. And so it grew, and I've continued to do that all along. And I dropped the tummy from the name, so it's just Yummy by Heather Thomson, because it was too limiting. The 3-panel tank will always be the original Yummy Tummy patented 3-panel tank, and the cornerstone of the business. But from there, I launched fully into the whole intimates business. Shapewear is a very small category in intimates. You know what I mean? mean, where bras and panties are huge. So there's a lot of money to be made in those areas. So I'm not going to limit myself, right? So, but it all stemmed from personal need. A lot of what's been exciting about this brand versus brands I've built for other people, where it really came from selfish initiatives. Like as I aged, as I became a mom, as I slimmed back down after pregnancy, what my body needed and how my body changed. So I call Yummy a brand of essentials. And I call them modern essentials. Our essentials used to be our bras and our panties, right?
Yeah.
Well, now it's your bra, your panty that fit you well, that work with your body, not against your body, because it's your wardrobe, I call it. Like those first few pieces.
It's a really cool word.
Right?
Yeah.
Those first few pieces are what you can build any outfit from. So I've expanded into bras and panties that have no shaping in them, but they're different. They're different. Like there's no closures. There's no hook, and I still can't hook my own bra. I gotta spin it around.
Yeah.
And I didn't want underwires anymore. I was ready to rock what I got, Yeah. And so the bras are a point of differentiation from what you find in the market. And my undies, like I was spending $28 on panties, and I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
So I made a really beautiful panty, and I put 3 in a pack for $32.
That's awesome.
Do you know what I mean? Like things like that I wanted in my life. So intimates, shapewear, leggings, hosiery, denim, active apparel, loungewear. Is Yummy. So I'm on the full intimates department. So in intimates, if you walk into intimates, you'll find me in shape, bras and panties,
right?
and loungewear. Nordstrom, Bloomingdale's, Dillard's, Von Maur, Neiman, Saks. Like, you can find us in a lot of the better department stores.
When you say there's no clasp for the bra, how do you?
So you step into it or pull it on.
Okay.
So it's like a day bra, but I sleep in it, and I call it, for the fabric, I call pretty powerful, because it's beautiful, but it has power, so it can hold up to like a double F.
Oh, perfect. That's
Well, all of us, you guys. Well, you're the big.
Thank God.
You're the blessed one in the group.
I can still wear it.
Even though I don't have much going on up top, I have been dying for a bra with no underwire, because I really don't require it, and it's so uncomfortable.
So uncomfortable. I mean, I remember like I would pull it off and like get this off, and now
soon as you
I
walk
literally sleep in them, and they're this
That's
fabric.
crazy. You sleep in it.
Same as the bodysuit.
Oh, that fabric.
Yeah,
That's
it's
amazing.
it's
comfortable.
They're really comfortable, and I do it in black, so they're not see through. This new one that I wore. I like it that way. It's
that
sexy.
comes in different colors. That bodysuit.
Yes, it does.
Great.
But so do the bras.
Perfect.
So there's a ton of bras, and I literally put them on in the morning after my shower, and I take them off the next morning before I get in the shower. That's
great.
I wear them like panties. You know what I mean? I sleep in them, and it's really good to keep the girls firm.
Right, that's
and
good for you, right?
Well, you were saying your workout pants, you wear them to work out, and then you just switch heels.
Yes, I'll
during
wear
the
them
day.
to the office with a high heel. So my active apparel, which is interesting, is that, I wanted, a lot of the women that you see on the street in active apparel have never been into the gym, nor do they have the intention of going into the gym.
It's so true.
And that's
How many
okay,
people
because
wear
you know
them?
what? It's functional for them. They can wear their sneakers, they can run around, they feel put together, they're tight and right in their clothes. It's like the modern day hookup, active apparel on the street, and it was functional. And that's what we need as women, because we're so busy. We need versatility from our wardrobes. And that's really what the brand is founded on, was versatility for women in essentials. So, I mean, what I do now, in my core competency of Yummy is done. Like, I won't be launching anything else within my doors, but now what I'll do is I'll license to other experts, and we'll work together on building the perfect bathing suit. Wow. You know what I mean? We'll work,
that's awesome.
Things like that. So I've done what I can do. So I own the full intimates department. Denim is something I've designed for many, many years, so I'm not giving that away, because I'm a denim, expert really at it. They're great jeans, and I designed them because I wanted to love wearing my jeans again. I wanted to love wearing my skinny jeans again without the dreaded muffin top. And I'm slimmed down again, but we are just flesh and blood after all.
Yeah.
I'm 45 years old. I've had 2 kids. I'm in the gym all the time, but I can grab my skin. It's stretched out. Gravity does win after all.
There is no
I've got like
camel toe.
27-year-olds shaking their heads at me. Trust me, it'll happen.
There is no camel toe, and I have to just say that's awesome, because tight pants
Yes, you get
give
it.
you a giant
They're
camel
so-
toe. There's no camel toe here, and it's
And they give you
fabulous. I have to
Hashtag
just
no
say.
camel toe.
No head, no butt crack.
No butt crack either. It's great.
Yeah, the way I ride,
Yeah.
I slant the jean.
Yep.
Just really just smart design and good technology in the cloth. I used,
Right.
the technology from
How did you
Cone
do
Denim.
the first one? Did you build it yourself?
I built it myself.
Really?
It took me a year. It took me a year to get the first jean like fitting exactly where I wanted. Then you have to find the right factory that can see your vision through. So it really, fashion is a process. And, you know, I don't like to see it belittled because, you know, we work really hard in the fashion industry, designers, from concept to product to bringing it out to the floor, to keeping the production quality and keeping it flowing and not losing things. I mean, it's really a big, huge thing to do. And I'm very proud of what we do at Yummy because everything that we do is quality. You know, Yummy, the best thing about the brand is it says what it does what it says it's going to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you do it comfortably and you do it with confidence, and it's encouraging to women that you can love getting dressed again. You know what I mean? Like especially I think after having kids, or there's been a weight gain, or we go through hormonal changes, you can really feel crappy about yourself just by getting dressed in the morning. Yeah. You're like, I'm so fat, I'm terrible, nothing fits. Right. You know, and like that's our bodies change. And so to have just these essentials that you know are your wardrobe basics that you can go to every time and build any outfit from it and know that you're starting off with confidence, that's what it's all about. Right. You know, so taking 25 years of design experience and working with some of the top names and the curviest girls in Hollywood. Right. You know what I mean? I could lean back on that experience and build a brand really that was encouraging for women. So it's not just fashion, it's more than that.
And I love that you're bringing that back. You're kind of reminding women to embrace your curves and to embrace your body the way it is.
Exactly.
Instead of hiding it. And masking it, it's kind of defining the right spots.
We're all so different. Everyone's biodynamic. There's not one person that's alike, you know. And if you look at Kristen and I are the same size jean, right? But look at how different our bodies are. Right. I mean, I stand next to Kristen. She got this long, skinny, slender arm. I mean, I couldn't eat for 5 weeks, and I'd look more anorexic than long, skinny, slender arm. Right. I'd still just be, you know, big boned or whatever it is. So, or athletic build, you know. My sister was always like the runway model build, and they would always say to me, oh, but you have the athletic build.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. And guess what? I embrace that. I'm so glad. I love an athletic build now. I don't want to be skin and bones. Right. You know what I mean? And I want to be strong. I love that my legs can carry me. You know, those are like exciting. So many people can't. Right. So it just goes on and on and on, which leads into some of my philanthropic work. Right. Yes. You know, which you know, Yummy is a huge part of, and I use my platform. I don't believe that any entrepreneur can come to the table today without bringing some type of philanthropic cause to the table. It just doesn't work for me. Right. Don't get in the game if you're not going to play the game and give back. Right. You know what I mean? And so I put things on my website where I'll give a portion of the sales. I'll climb a mountain, 14,000 feet with no barriers, and then I promo the active apparel for no barriers, and then I give, proceeds of that week's sales to no barriers. There's a lot that you can do as a business owner, that doesn't even really touch your bottom line sometimes. There's so many, you can actually write the check, but there's things that you can do, especially in the digital world, bringing awareness. That's so easy for so many great charities.
Yeah, you do so much. And no barriers, wasn't there something you did last year with a certain man that was
blind?
He was right.
Yes.
He was blind, yeah.
So Eric Weinmayer is the guy who started No Barriers, and he was on the cover of Time magazine for an amazing accomplishment. He was the first blind man to ever summit Mount Everest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty big deal. That's a monster mountain.
Insane. That's like
no joke.
So Eric is like here. He's so awe-inspiring and inspirational. He actually just kayaked through the Grand Canyon, level 7 rapids.
Wow. Awesome.
Yep, and did it. So God makes people like Eric so that, people with challenges can actually have something to look up to and get through. And so he's just so awe-inspiring. I love him. Yeah. No Barriers is an amazing organization that touches people with disabilities. It touches No Barriers youth, children with disabilities. It touches veterans, our warriors who come back with disabilities. So, and then we have a women's program. So No Barriers has all those programs. No Barriers Summits, No Barriers Warriors, No Barriers Youth, No Barriers Women. And so I'm an ambassador for that, and do some keynote in public, speaking for them and endorsing of them and climbing mountains with them.
That's
and
amazing.
You do it all in the great outdoors, which is beautiful. So you can use the mountains as metaphors, to life. Like when you have to really dig deep, we have to do that every day on the streets too. Mm-hmm. So you're giving them the tools to dig deep and have a rope team. You know what I mean? People that are there to support you. We all need a rope team in life. One monkey don't make or break the show ever. Right. It takes the whole circus. And so, I really believe in that, and I believe in partnering, with people to make it where you got to make it. You're never going to make it alone.
Right.
We all need somebody. And
Very
so
true.
to establish that rope team, no matter what your challenge is, you know, I'm climbing a mountain with these guys who have new prosthetic legs and,
Right, I remember
you know,
that,
all kinds of
yes.
amazing things and don't have sight. You know what I mean? Are summiting these mountains. And I'm like, I just can't find the time in my day. You know, I want to move more. Like, those are my barriers.
Right.
So you got to break down those barriers. And when you're with people like that are so awe-inspiring, it makes it really easy and simple too. You know, and by the way, if you fail one day, just get up the next day and start over again.
Right.
God gives us a new day every day.
Yeah, exactly. You are so inspiring.
Yeah, I'm so
Last
inspired.
time I talked to you, it lasted me a whole year. I needed a fix from you though. But like, truly, you are one of the most inspiring people to listen to. You're like, for women especially, you have no idea. So it's perfect that you do that, because that's where you're supposed to be in life. Designing and all that's like, you're totally supposed to be there too, but this is like your calling, in my opinion.
I love that. Well,
So
thank you. I mean,
so
somehow
true.
I've gotten here through design, and, you know, being a designer and being successful as a designer and being on the show, you know, gave me a voice. That's all. You know, celebrity is a voice.
Yes,
That's what it is. You know what I mean? And, you know, it depends on how you use it or don't use it or want to use it, or how you want to use your celebrity or whatever. I like to call it notoriety. I mean, like, George Clooney's a celebrity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
you know, but it just gives us a voice. You know, it gives you a platform. So that's what I'm so grateful for, to use that platform for good things and to help other young entrepreneurs, or in any way that I can. So that's kind of what the future, you know, for me is moving forward in that positive motion. And, you know, the show there was parts of it that were not positive for me in my life. And it was like, you know, got to shake off the,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And let move on.
I think it's absolutely the
You
right
know,
place.
and that's in everything. Jax is.
I was just gonna ask you
How
about
about
that.
the kids?
Yeah, the kids are great. You know, it's so funny. I recognize on Twitter, like, people wanted to get to know Ella because, you know, they didn't know her. Some people were like, I didn't even know you had a daughter. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my
isn't that
God. I mean, she has been on the show, so it's just like, but Jax was, you know, kind of like the earmarked, you know, what it's like to have, you know, a child with challenges. And the fact that I could have someone tune into the Housewives and be like, oh my God, and relate to somebody when you kind of want to check out of your own life, you know, and then you check into something that's, you know, just going to kind of take your mind off. You're like, oh my God, I found something that gave me comfort.
Right.
You know, that was really important. And Jax is proud of that. You know, he loves doing that. So he's got to have his eardrums reconstructed. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember on the
Yes.
show, I took John and I took the less evasive path.
Yes.
It bought us a year, which is
Yes.
great because it didn't damage anything.
Right.
He got stronger, he got older, his lungs are stronger, things like that. But the reconstruction is something that we're going to go forward to try to restore his hearing.
Really?
It's gotten to a point where it's as bad as it's going to get. He has what's called conductive hearing loss. So it's about the vibration in the ear, that his ear doesn't vibrate properly, so he can't hear properly. So if I whisper, it's very annoying to him because he literally hears like,
Oh,
like
that's
he can't,
so
like, and he's like,
frustrating.
would you not whisper in my ear? You know what I mean? And then you're in a crowded place and you're trying to, so he can hear you, and you don't want to be like, hey, Jax,
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
So it's not getting better; it's getting worse, and so we want to try to fix it. So it's a long surgery. We do one ear, and then it's about a 4-hour surgery. We wait 6 months and then do the second ear, and there are learnings to be had on the first. So you do the most damaged ear first, and you save the best for last.
Right.
And so he's really excited to move forward with it. And, you know, we've had a lot of support. I have my friend Jason Boxer has had hearing loss, and, you know, of course, No Barriers has been huge. And when this was the best thing. Really the best thing. When Jax had to get we decided that to do the surgery, he did get bummed out. He's like, why do I have all these things? And blah, 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 blah. And I said, Jaxie, so many people have challenges that they can't fix. So many people. And he goes, yeah, Mom, like, no barriers. So the work I'm doing
he sees.
with these organizations and the people that are touching our lives are really making a difference. I'm not making a difference in their life. They're making a difference in my life. You know what I mean? And that my kid can have that inspiration at 10, you know, with all that he's been through and feel strong and empowered is a gift that will keep on giving, that I can only thank, you know, Eric Weinmeier and all of my fellow ambassadors and teammates and rope team and all the lovely people at No Barriers. And, you know, then my own charity, you know, the Kellner Pediatric Liver Foundation, where we're saving babies and providing liver transplants for, you know, those babies that can't get them in countries countries that don't even provide liver transplants. We just sent our latest baby back home, Abner. He was here. He had a tough go at it. He's been in the country for 2.5 years recovering from his liver transplant.
Oh my god.
And we just sent him home. And you should see the before and the after. I mean, here you have this sick little baby who has, really is dying. And then you send back this robust toddler. You know what I mean? Embracing life, and it's really, really amazing.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, so.
You are you're so special.
Oh,
you really
thanks.
are. I can't, you're just
Everybody
amazing.
can get involved. You know,
yeah.
everybody can make a difference, even if you just touch one life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't have time for housewives.
Yeah.
Sorry, I agree now.
Yeah,
I want you back, but I know I get it. But you're just incredible. And so for the next, now your future, you're just going to continue to do what you're doing with Yummy,
Yes.
which is taking up so much time, obviously,
Yes.
and being an amazing mom and doing all of the charity work that you're
Yes.
doing. So I understand, and I look forward to seeing everything else you're going to be doing and that you are doing now.
Well, I will be sure to come back and tell you when some new things pop up.
do.
And,
Please
you close a door and 10 open.
Yep.
And, I'm really excited for this time. I'm so grateful for, where I've been. I'm so looking forward to where I'm going,
Yes.
and I love being here with you guys.
We love
I mean,
you.
this is a great show, by the way, too. What an accomplishment. I mean, millions and millions of viewers. I mean, AFTERBUZZ and what you
Yeah.
guys do here is
It's
so
great.
much fun. And I feel so cool in my
and
ear set.
I have to say,
Great.
on iTunes, where people listen a lot more than they watch. I mean, we have like thousands and thousands of people each week listening because they're so invested in this show.
Yes.
And so many people have reached out about you. You, Kristen, and Carole especially, that they just love you guys. And I mean, Kristen's really loved, obviously, as well,
She's
and
great.
she's amazing.
Keep expecting great things from her, too.
Yeah, absolutely. But I know that it was very sad for people to know that you're going, but I understand, and I get it.
I mean, you never know. Maybe I'll come back here and there for a cameo or
Yeah.
two, if it works. And,
Right.
Carole is a best friend and a family, really, to me. And Kristen is a dear friend. We go way back, and Josh and I have a 15-year,
I know.
history together, and our kids are genuinely friends, and all that stuff. So, and, I introduced Kristen to this wonderful guy, Troy, who has started the Smile Train, and you saw Kristen now get involved because she was inspired. She was like, I want to do that. I'm like, you
That's
can do it.
amazing.
Watch, let me show you. You can do it.
That's
amazing.
amazing.
And, she's really making a million smiles, you know what I mean, in Mexico. And, just from a cleft palate surgery that's so simple that she said is the cost of a pair of jeans. And that's why we did the denim event.
That's
was
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, which was
Yeah,
amazing.
she actually brought her nail polishes last time, and
They're
we all
great.
loved it.
Love them.
Yeah,
I
we
have
loved
purple
it.
color in my bag
Do
right
you
now.
really?
Yeah, they're amazing.
They're
I
so
love her
great.
stuff. I love her bottles.
The
And we're both
colors.
at Ricky's. So
Oh,
we get to do
yeah.
Yummies at Ricky's too, and Papa
That's
Colors
really
at Ricky's
cool.
too. So we have little Ricky's parties.
I love it. No, it was
Cute.
great. She's very talented. I expect there's gonna be a lot more from her.
How
too,
about
I'm sure.
beautiful?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
mean,
that
wow.
goes without
She's
saying.
so pretty.
I was like this, just staring at her, and I'm
She's
like, oh,
so
I have to host
pretty.
the show. Excuse me 1 second. I'm like,
She's just
staring at her.
You know what? Kristen's too nice for the show.
Aw.
she's so
is.
sweet. But it's funny because we all said when we met her, we were so shocked at how unbelievably outgoing she is because you don't really get to see that part of
Yes.
her in the show. And she's so much fun. She's the life of the party.
Yeah,
You
she
just
is.
don't see that when
She
she's on the
is.
show.
She is. She's such a good girl. I love her to death. I really do. The show, actually, I also am grateful for because Kristen and I had a relationship through Josh. Like, she was Josh's wife, and, John was Heather's husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For Josh. And our coupledom came together even and grew so much stronger. I mean, I would never have the friendship probably that I have with Kristen today because that's given the time constraints of life and work, like we would have never grown like we've grown together.
Yeah,
So
a
like
lot of
we're
good
like
comes
sisters
from it.
too now,
Absolutely. A
Yeah.
lot of good came from the show for
Totally.
you, all you guys. Now, where can people stay in touch with you now so they can just keep up with everything you're doing? Because you're really good at responding to your fans, which
Yes.
is really cool.
I love
you
that
always
part.
do that.
That's why you scare me with Periscope. I'm like, another thing. I can do it all.
I know people would really want to watch you. You
I'll
should
do it, though.
You
I'm
gotta
gonna
do it.
try it.
I'm
I'm gonna
telling you.
try it.
We'll do it today. We'll do it after this.
Okay, good.
But yeah.
I am Heather T. I still
That's your
am on
Twitter.
social very actively on my Instagram, I love, and on Twitter. And, at yummylife.com, I'm going to be, now that I have a little bit more time, I have some plans to blow out the digital side of the business and maybe do some blogging. I don't know if you guys know or not. Was it on the show? I'm in nutrition school.
You are?
Yes.
Oh,
I did. I went
good.
to I'm at the Integrative Institute of Nutrition. nutrition. In December, I'll graduate with my health and wellness coaching degree or certificate, whatever you want to call it.
I know.
I'm very behind. I have a test open right now, and I am going to have to cram, and that's the truth.
That's amazing.
So you do the best you can, you know.
Yeah.
And
do you go to class or do you do it online?
I do it online.
You do.
And it was, I wanted to expand my knowledge. It's not because I'm going to practice actually as a health and wellness coach, but I'm going to take that knowledge and share it with the people I love.
That's awesome.
I have a few people in our office that I am ready to do a study on to see what their habits are. One of the girls in my office gets migraines, and I know I can fix it through her food.
I have a feeling you're going to end up with a whole line of like organic something, like curing something. I don't know. You're just
Jax has with a lot of his medicines and things like that, it causes other issues. So while the prednisone, which is a steroid, keeps his liver from rejecting, it does other things to his body. So you can change your DNA through what you eat. You really can change your patterns, and there's a lot of books. And what's great about the Integrative Institute is I learn all the diet theories. I learn every single one of them, because what works for you may not work for me. You might have to be dairy free, but my body works with dairy or not. Some people are better without animal flesh. Some people need it. That type of protein in their diet, and you have to trial things. And they call them diets because they're only supposed to be temporary. You have to try to figure out and change your life, and what works now may not work in 3 years. Right. So I think it's so interesting, and I'm so upset by the food industry in this country. I have to put 16 labels on a thong panty to ship it to, and we don't know what's in our food.
Right.
You know what I mean?
True.
So I started doing this test in New York. I would order, like, if it doesn't say it on the menu, which at the higher end restaurants you see that, but I'm like, I'm sorry, do you know where your chicken comes from? And the waiter has no idea. And I'm like, is it pastured chicken or is it factory farmed? You know what I mean? They're like, they don't even know what that means. One is the chicken is in a dark place. You know what I mean? It is stuffed with antibiotics, and they grow a chicken in 7 weeks versus 17 weeks. And the other guy is a healthy chicken that lives a chicken life. Right. You know what I mean? And the farmers' kids, drop the grains, and and it's like a very different food. Yes. They're very different foods. And so learning about that and educating myself so that I can educate others in that area has been a passion for me. So I'm excited to do a little bit more work there while I have more time.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
They didn't cover it on the show. That's not Housewives worthy. Like, when Andy and I were talking, I was like, you don't want to cover nutrition school. Right. You don't want to cover me climbing mountains. It's not the show I'm on. Right. You know what I mean? Right. And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
You know what I mean?
We'll do another show.
Yeah.
Your own show. Sorry. Someday. So I am Heather T for Instagram, for Twitter, yummylife.com. Yep. And then, I'm sure you always answer. You're really good at it. So people can ask you some questions maybe. I hope we answered all your questions to all the fans out there. Megan, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, everybody, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. It's all at Megan Stecher, MEGANSTECHER.
Fern Ronay here. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fern Ronay, RONAY.
And you can find me on Twitter and Periscope at Ashley Daniels, Instagram Miss Ashley Daniels. And thank you so much for tuning in. We love you so much.
You guys
You're
are
amazing.
so yummy to
Awesome. Heather Thompson, everyone.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.